Hello and welcome back to BeamNG Drive, this time for racing at the Lincoln Financial Field. As always, we have 16 trucks competing it out for a spot at the World Finals. So, let us get on to a quick demonstration on how the track will work. Here we have a CRD chassis here to help us demonstrate. Each truck will start at the starting line right here next to each other. They will then start off, jump over the ramp and across the finish line, but of course they are not done just yet. They'll have to make their way around this little obstacle here, before then coming down this straightaway, making sure not to hit the piles of dirt at the end of the turn, before then going up the ramp once more and across the finish line. And they will then proceed to do the exact same thing as before, and just to make the race just a little bit longer. Normally, I think that they would only do one lap around the course, but we're going to have them do two, just to make things a little bit more interesting. And of course, across the finish line they will go, after crossing the finish line basically 3 different times. So, with that, let's get on to the first trucks. Up first we have Max D and Brutus. Off the starting line they go, right up over the ramp. Max D seems to have a slight lead, coming down the straightaway anyway. Both trucks entering the first turn, Max D taking it a bit wide, Brutus pulls ahead. Into the final turn here. Once again, Max D taking it a bit wide. Brutus having some trouble in the turn. Max D comes from behind and will take the win in round 1. Up next, we have Earthshaker and Northern Nightmare. Both trucks seem to have a little bit of problems on the landing, but Earthshaker still seems to be ahead. Down the final straightaway and into the final turn, Earthshaker has a pretty big lead over Northern Nightmare. And it looks like it will be Earthshaker who takes the win in round 1. As both trucks have yet some more problems, and Northern Nightmare almost rolling it over. Up next we have Renaisseur versus the Catalyst. Into the turn here, Renaisseur takes it a bit wide. Catalyst has the problem in taking the turn. Catalyst has a lot of catching up to do if they want to win this race. Renaisseur still with a pretty big lead here into the final turn. And it will be Renaisseur who takes the win for round 1. Up next is Avenger and Just Showing Off. Avenger seem to take the turn a little bit wide. Are they able to catch up to Just Showing Off? As Just Showing Off has a little bit of trouble in the turn, going up on 3 wheels. Will it be enough for Avenger to catch up? Avenger taking it wide once again, and Just Showing Off takes the win in round 1. Up next is Spider-Man and Thunder 4x4. Into the initial turn here, back towards the finish line. Both trucks seem fairly even, although Spider-Man slightly ahead. Into the final turn here, both trucks taking it wide once again. It's going to be close, and it will be Spider-Man who wins round 1. Up next is King Crunch and Override. King Crunch seeming to have a little bit of trouble coming off of that ramp. Override clipped one of the obstacles. Will it be enough for King Crunch to catch up? Into the final turn here. And it will be Override who takes the win. Up next is Gravedigger and Player 4. Like Player 4 has the lead over Gravedigger as Gravedigger takes it wide. Player 4 has a significant lead over Gravedigger leading into the final turn here. And it will be Player 4 who takes the win. Up next is Gravedigger the Legend and BeamNG Drive. The final stretch down the straightaway here. Gravedigger the Legend with a significant lead. And it's going to be Gravedigger the Legend who beats BeamNG Drive. Here we have our bracket leading into round number 2. Half the field has been eliminated, leaving 8 trucks to battle it out for the finals. Who's it going to be? Well, let's find out with round 2. Up first in round 2, we have Earthshaker and Max D. Into the first turn, Earthshaker takes it quite tight, so does Max D. They both seem to be fairly close, leading up into the next turn. Although Earthshaker takes it a bit wide, so does Max D. Down the final straightaway, into the final turn. Earthshaker seems to take the turn better, and it will be Earthshaker who beats Max D. Up next is Renaissar versus Just Showing Off. And Just Showing Off will cross the finish line and beat Renaissar. And Just Showing Off is in trouble. Loses the front clip there. and puts it back on all fours. Up next is Spider-Man and Override. Into the first turn, both trucks seem to take it a bit wide. The Spider-Man seems to have pulled ahead. Into the final turn here, Spider-Man has a slight lead. And it looks like it's going to be Spider-Man who takes the win. And finally, we have Gravedigger the Legend against Player 4. Into the initial turn here. Gravedigger the Legend has a bit of a lead over Player 4, but will it be enough? Player 4 seems to take it a bit wide as Gravedigger the Legend shoots on ahead. Into the final turn. And it will be Gravedigger the Legend as he rolls it over after the line. Alright, here we have the bracket leading into the semifinals. 4 trucks remain. Only one will be able to move on to the finals in each category. So let's move on now. Up first we have Earthshaker and Just Showing Off. Both trucks took it fairly tight in the first turn. Into the next turn, they both seem to be fairly even with each other. Just Showing Off have a bit of an awkward landing. Earthshaker taking it tight in the turn, taking it wide in the straightaway. Into the final turn, who's it gonna be? And it's gonna be Earthshaker who moves on to the final round. Up next is Gravedigger the Legend and Spider-Man. Into the first turn, both trucks seem to take it a little bit wide. Spider-Man with a slight lead over Gravedigger the Legend here. Down the straightaway one last time into the final turn. And it's going to be Gravedigger the Legend who will move on. And Spider-Man goes for a bit of a tumble and back on all fours. Over here in the left lane, we have Earthshaker. They've been pretty good all this time. Let's see if they'll have enough for them to move on to the finals. But they'll have to go through their competitor, a previous World Finals competitor, Gravedigger the Legend, over here in the right lane with most of the body panels missing. But hey, that just lightens them up if anything. So, with this former World Finals competitor and a brand new addition to the CRD mod, let's see who's it gonna be. Earthshaker and Gravedigger the Legend. A couple of fast trucks here, but only one will move on to the finals. Off they go. Gravedigger the Legend seems to pull the lead early on. Down the straightaway once again into the final turn. Gravedigger the Legend seems to have the lead here. And it's a close one, but it seemed like Earthshaker will pass the line as Gravedigger the Legend tumbled it out after hitting the center ramp. That is right, Earthshaker is your racing winner here at the Lincoln Financial Field. And we will see them at the finals later on next year or this year. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, with that, enjoy this celebratory run of Earthshaker's freestyle. And I will see you again in freestyle here at the Lincoln Financial Field.